Good morning. It's Nancy Burt-Preece here, and it is June 2nd, 2026. I wanted to share with you this fun card, and I made another one, so I'll show you how to make this one, but it's basically the same as that one. It's called the shadow box technique, which I learned and cased from Lynn Dunn, Stamptastic Designs. There are other people that have since done it, but I think Lynn was the first one. I could be wrong. So let me show you how to make this really fun technique. So I am using this one. I'm using the designer series paper from the Fern and Flora suite. This one is the Velvet Meadow suite, and I'm using the stamp sets. Let's see, where did I put them? Flowering Meadows, I'm using the stamp set. And Fern and Flora, I'm using the die for that. So let me show you. It is not a hard technique. It is fussy. So I did want to talk about that. Second thing, I was starting to stamp this. I took it right out of the package, and I was starting to stamp this, So Many Reasons to Celebrate, and I wasn't getting a great image. So let me tell you a couple of little tips on that. First thing you're going to, oh, there, I was looking for this everywhere. Well, now I found it. The first thing is to really clean it off really good to get all the stuff from shipping off of there. If you're still having a trouble with it stamping well, this is an old block I got from Stampin' Up, but I think there's like light sandpaper you can get for paper. And I just sanded it just a little bit, not a lot, just to take some of the extra ick off of it. And then once again, clean it again. And then I've had no problem. So if that ever happens, do that. I also wanted to show you two tips. This one is with our new Stampin' ink pads. These are for the in colors, and we will also next year, most of them will be transitioning. I love that the case goes really well with it. Now, here's a couple of tips. These are what I first started with. So for me, it's like going back home. I'm going to just use a piece of scrap here. What I do when I'm making it up is I do the gentle tap. And then every once in a while, I'll just do a little bit of twist it a little bit. Just twist it a little bit. Not a lot. You don't want to get ink all over. But if you do that, you get ink really well on your stamp, and it comes out really beautiful when you're stamping it. So a couple of little tips. I think somebody called that the twist and shout technique, so I thought that was clever. So I will keep that and cut that out for something else. Let me show you how to make this. I'll talk about this one first. What I did in Lynn, like I say, I took my directions from Lynn Dunn. And what I did first is I cut, because this has a pattern to it, I cut a 3x4-inch piece of designer series paper so it had what I wanted. I wanted that fern, that fiddlehead fern. I wanted the butterfly, a couple little things. And then I put it in. I'll use this strip as an example, even though it's not. I cut 1-inch strips. I put the 3-inch at the top and cut 1-inch strips, and I laid them out in line. Then what I did is I put them in my paper trimmer, and I cut them at 1-inch intervals, and once again kept everything lined up. That is the trick when you're doing a pattern. Keep it all lined up, because you think you're going to know how it goes and you don't always. So trust me, keep it lined up. Then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to cut, for this one, you need 12 Secret C shadows. And I'll show you how I'm going to put those on with the bigger one. And then you shadow each piece of designer series paper, and you're going to put it on. I love this So Many Reasons to Celebrate, and one of my team has a birthday coming up, so I thought this was so appropriate. So let me show you how to make this card. I've got some of it prepped. This one is a little different because these are 1.5 inch squares, not 1 inch. So they are easier to work with, first of all, which you'll be happy with, trust me. The little 1 inch guys, they are tricky at times. So I have 3 with a green and 3 with more of a pink. So I looked at the back of the designer series paper. I chose the colors that I wanted to go. I have an inside white, which is your regular 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to add a strip. You notice I use my grid paper here just to get things lined up, because for some reason, every time I put designer series paper on, it's not great. Now, this velvet, there is a little bit of a raised velvet feel for some of it. So it's really, when they say it's specialty paper and it is a little bit more costly, it's worth every penny. It is so beautiful. I just think, and the colors to me are just gorgeous. Okay, so I have my inside. If I chose, I could put a little sentiment there, and I will eventually, but you never know what you're going to use it for. I'm going to go ahead and bone fold this a little bit. This is Berry Burst 4 1/4 by 11, scored at 5 1/2. This one is 3 3/4 by 5 1/2. So this is a little different because it's going to go from the top. I'm going to line it up again. See if I can get that as even as possible on the top and the bottom. I think I did pretty good. If it's not exactly perfect, I'm okay with that. Some people aren't, and you can line it up and do a better job. Although it's pretty lined up. So I went ahead and stamped on the die cut So Many Reasons to Celebrate. This is just a white, basic white. This is 2.5 by 1 1/8. It's that peaceful pine. And the reason I made it, I wanted it a little bit bigger to show around this. I debated trying to use the punch to add, and I just didn't like it. I needed a little bit more green around it. So that's why I have that. Now I have some already done, and I'll do one with you. So I have 3 of the greens already done, and I have 2 of the pinks. You notice I'm making sure that they're in a line. Now, when you put this technique, you always have to make sure you put it the same way, and I always put it on the left and the bottom, left and bottom. So how I do this, these are 1.5 inch squares. I did not line them up so that they would look perfect. I didn't, because it wasn't a pattern, just kind of random flowers. And you know, you can do it any way you want. I'm going to go ahead and put this. You notice I try to leave about the same amount on each one. It's not perfect, but it's about the same. Now, when I did this one, Lynn Dunn recommended doing the first row. I always go then to the bottom. That's just how I do it. Then I know how much to fill in the middle. Then I do another row and another row. So I'm going to do the same on here. I'm going to start at the top. And I'm going to go about there. This one, you notice I'm starting with a green. The other one I started with a pink. It really doesn't make a difference. Everyone could look totally different, and that's fun. You notice I am using the green glue because I want to have wiggle. I want to be able to wiggle it around. looks pretty good, I think. And then I'm going to go, so I'm going to kind of lay these in here so I don't get the wrong ones. That goes there. Then I'm going to do the bottom, because that way I know how much space I have left. So I'm going to do the bottom and kind of give myself the same amount as I did on the top. So this is not hard. The hardest part is cutting the little parts. The 1.5 inches go very fast. The 1 inches go very slow. I'm just telling you, when you cut them and you put them on, it's a little bit more time consuming. It's beautiful. It's a little bit more time consuming, so it's totally up to you. Now I'm going to add these. Oop. See, that's why it's important to have them all facing the same way, or it does not look right. Okay, I think that looks pretty lined up. And even if one is a little bit different, you don't notice it with this pattern. Then I'm going to take some dimensionals and pop it up. And I'm just going to kind of put it there. Isn't that a fun technique? You can use any designer series paper. You can use one with a pattern, multiple patterns. You can just go crazy with this. I love this sketch. I love this technique. And I hope you give it a try. It's a lot of fun. Have a wonderful day. Take care.